usho ukuthi i-history osinikele yona nje uthi mhlambe ngenze follow up ukuthi wathoma usafika almost esipoliseni ukubereka nge-crime intelligence. I think that came up clear. Am I right? Mangifunda la ngoba satshelwa into eziningikhulu ukuthi awudeserve, and ngicabanga ukuthi i-colleague yakho uGeneral Sibiya, that's what he said in this committee. So hence ngifuna i-clarity, Chair, on that one, to say njengoba uyibeka nje namhlanje uthi njengoba wathoma ngo-1991 you go throughout the ranks, and i-crime intelligence akusinto oyithome at this level where you are today. Am I right?
That is correct, Honorable Chair.
Ngiyathokoza, Chair. Bengifuna net leyo clarity. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's proceed. Thanks very much for the responses, General Khumalo.
Would you like to add anything, or can I continue, General?
I touched on the legal framework issues without wanting to bore the committee on a number of policies and standard operational procedures that one had to put in place, but some I'm going to touch on them when I talk on those decisions that led to the misinformation period that started then towards the end of 2024.
But before we leave this topic of crime intelligence, General, in paragraph 40 of your statement, you indicate that the decisions that you've taken were not supported by some senior management, or in senior management level, which made it difficult for you to implement and achieve the desired results. My question on this is, we know that the minister, part of the minister's directive that he issued in December 2024 was a directive, a moratorium that he placed on the filling of posts in crime intelligence. How did that, with the challenges that you've encountered, how did that further impact what you were trying to achieve in crime intelligence?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Although might still talk past that part when we discuss the directive itself, but I can maybe referring to paragraph 42, that when then one had to put the priorities of the division, one had to also identify and recruit capable senior officers through transfers and promotions in order to implement then the legal framework that had been passed. So that is the period I'm referring to. That is when the misinformation campaign started through the social and print media that will be related to each and every decision that one is taking. I can take the committee through some examples from paragraph 44.
If you'd like to.
Thank you. I've referred to the decision that one had to take of removing state vehicles from the senior managers of crime intelligence, as well as SAPS senior managers, and redistribute them for the real purpose that those resources were acquired for at operational level. One will still recall that soon after that directive was issued under my signature, and then those vehicles had to be collected and then be inspected. Then the redistribution process starts. And then there were photos or pictures that were taken from where they were kept, whilst then they were in the process of being redistributed. And the media article about CI vehicle vehicles collecting dust and not allocated to members started flying. That is one example. The second example will talk to the famous misinformation that is forever spoken about or spread on the media, which talks to the informers being paid 3,000 rands only. That example is as a result of the financial delegation of powers that had to be reviewed to ensure that there are control measures, especially on the informal rewards and remuneration, establishing the committees that are going to deal with. The directive was talking to the fact that the informal rewards and remuneration that are above 3,000 rands has to go through a committee to be scrutinized, which was then a problem from those that were benefiting from a loose policy that will allow any commander at any level for such approvals. Then the other example, as I'm touching on misinformation that we experienced a lot towards the end of 2024, was around the identification and dismissal of ghost employees who were unlawfully employed, who are part of recruited 250 that I mentioned earlier on. The misinformation that was accompanied by that process was that the division is being incapacitated because of those activities that were taking place. We have lots of examples. There are people that we had unearthed that were holding the ranks up to a full colonel, who have never worked for the past 15 to 20 years, but getting salaries. So one had to hunt those people and then dismiss them in terms of the regulations of SAPS. That is a project that is still ongoing. So we are going to that misinformation for quite some time. And the other one, this one is coming in at any time when one then is implementing and enforcing consequence management, especially at senior management level. We have seen the stories talking to claims of victimization.